We're good. We're on again?
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Um, this is a new stream? A new... This is a new video? New stream?
What do you mean new?
Like it's a new post? A new post? It's not the same stream?
Yeah, this is the second. Yeah, new live stream. Yeah.
So... before we go back into the chains, I'll just give everybody a few minutes to find the new stream. Sorry. One of the phones just stopped working, just seized up, and unfortunately, it's running the studio software that we use here to alternate between the different cameras. So, but we're back. Couple of perks about this thing before I go back into the chains. Obviously, if you share this video, the unfrozen version, we'll send you one of these polishing cloths here. I guess we know who shares the video, and then we'll get a hold of you, get your address, send you one of those beautiful polishing cloths. If you've never used one of these are just a beautiful little green chamois material with probably fabulously bad chemicals. And the chemical that's infused in the cloth has a anti-tarnish agent or de-tarnish agent. It's just a chemical that unbinds the copper and the oxygen and allows the pieces to become clean, because that's what tarnish is, right? Tarnish on your sterling silver is cupric oxide. It's a copper and oxygen binding together. That gets ugly. Gets tarnished, and you can just wipe that off. If it gets really bad, you can always pickle it, throw it in pickle, and polish it. Uh, Not like pickles, like actual pickles in a pickle jar, that you eat, like pickled cucumbers, those kind of things. Not that kind of pickle. Jeweler's pickle is just a word that jewelers use for, it's an acid, usually hydrofluoric acid is kind of the most common one for pickle. And I can't remember off the top of me the chemical. It's the stuff that they use in pools. The white granules that you use. Use a cup for a huge giant pool, and you can mix that up with water, and it releases an acid. And I can't remember the name of it because neither here nor there. Anyway, that's pickle. If you order anything during the live stream, you get 10% discount.
Yeah,
10%
not
off.
applicable to the wholesale.
Right. 10% does not apply. Obviously, if you are purchasing a wholesale, you're already getting that wholesale discount, and we don't stack discounts. So if there's a 10% discount off the retail price, but if you're ordering wholesale, that 10% discount obviously doesn't apply. Also, we offer free shipping for anything that you buy on the thing. Free regular mail shipping. I know there's been some confusion about, I think we use the word letter mail, which is just the Canada Post classification for anything that's just regular, that you put postage on it, whether it's a stamp or a label that they print at the post office or whatever. It's that's that thing. So free shipping on orders placed during the event. Free regular mail. That's just with postage. That doesn't include tracking or signature service or insurance or any of that stuff. So, which is fine, I guess, if you're ordering, one or two things. That's not very much money. But if you're ordering, something of value, I always recommend tracking it anyway. So, we do those, I guess, a new perk, I guess, is a 10% discount for all members' orders placed during the events from related social media groups and bead club societies. So if you're in one of the many jewelry related groups or lapidary groups on Facebook, just let us know that you found us from there, and we'll give you 10% discount on on your order. Also, if you're a member of a lapidary club or metal guild somewhere in the country, just let us know what club you're a member of, and we'll get your discount. And I already talked about the free gift. So let me go back into the chains. Everything. I think I covered everything, right, about the shipping and everything. Just so we're clear about the free shipping is regular mail.
Regular parcel mail.
Regular parcel mail or letter mail, which if you put it in a padded envelope, they call it letter mail. So if it's in a little parcel, obviously it's regular parcel mail, but it's all the same classification. It's just the mail that you put the postage on. And we say a stamp, but it could be a stamp like a postage stamp or a stamp that they print at the post office where they make a label or something. Anyway, it's not important to get into the minutia of the Canada Post classifications, but there it is. Free regular shipping, regular mail shipping. Okay, we were doing cable chains, which I went through them all. I just want to show you one more that's not strictly a cable chain, but it's made the same way. This technically it's a Figaro chain, and Figaro is just there's so many different variations on Figaro chain, but I'm partial to this one. I love this one. I think this is my favorite, right? So the three small links separated by one big one is the classic Figaro configuration. The big links are diamonds, diamond shape, right? Or biconvex, I guess, is the technically accurate way to describe it. And then just the three little round loops. And I think that's one of my favorite standard, chains. SF1256, available in 18, 20, 22, and 24. That's new. We didn't have this in 24-inch before. So I guess that's good. I know a lot of people ask us for longer chains. The retail price of the 18 inch is obviously $32.03, and the wholesale price is $20.01. I didn't talk about the difference between the retail and wholesale price. So let me just explain that in case you're unfamiliar. The regular price, if you just log into the website, you've never been there before, or you've been there a bunch of times, but you haven't registered for wholesale credentials, is just a retail price, a regular price, the price that we have, that's the price that we sell to you. If you walk in off the street, you say, hey, let me buy that, that's the price. We have a wholesale price that requires a minimum purchase of $150 at the wholesale level. So I know it's weird sometimes. We'll be ringing somebody up and their order that'll come to like $167.53, and it's still at the retail price because that $150 or $160 is at the retail level. But if those products were to be purchased at the wholesale level, they might only reach $120 or something like that. So, that's how that works. And that's actually kind of a fun position to be in, because it's almost as though you get more stuff for less money. So just beware of that. If you're you're putting stuff in your shopping cart and you're getting up around $170 retail or something, you should try to log in to think. Oh, and just another question I get quite a bit: how do you register for wholesale? On the website, there's the menu bar that has all the blah blah blah. Two of the items are highlighted in gold. One of them is the DIY jewelry for all the custom, custom made products and stuff, which I'm not going to talk about this time because I talk about it every time. But it's awesome. You should check it out. And the other one is for wholesale. It just says wholesale. And then when you click on that is an option for wholesale login. You click on that. And then if it's there's a link, it'll say not already registered. Click here for whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you click that, a form pops up, you fill out the form, you submit it to us. within however long it takes us to do it. It doesn't take long. Usually it's within a couple of hours at the most. We'll verify the information and send you your wholesale credentials. Then when you log into the website with your new password, you'll be brought to a mirror site, which is basically the same site, only all the prices are the wholesale prices. I don't know, it's weird. You have to log in with those actual credentials, and people lose them all the time. So, we reset them. Uh, and then all the prices that you see will be the wholesale prices. But as you're filling your shopping cart, you won't be able to log out until you reach $150 at the wholesale price. So that's that. But if you see us at shows, both prices are listed on all of the products anyway, or in the showroom if you come to the showroom. Which we're getting a lot more visitors, which is nice. A lot more people venturing out into the real world. Although right now it's so smoky out. And I know we're not as bad as they're having it in Washington State and Oregon and especially California. My daughter and my son live in near Seattle, and boy, the pictures they send me are just horrific. Like you can't even see across the street. It's so smoky. But anyway, neither here nor there. We've got a little bit, but not so bad in Vancouver. I have no idea what point I was trying to make, but let's move on. If you take those curb chains, the cable chains, and you twist the links, right? So you take just the regular things and you twist them, you'll get what's called a curb chain. And here's a good sample of that, right? This one, it's just the regular round oval links, right? Only they've been twisted so that they line up flat next to each other. This one is actually one step further. It's actually been flattened, maybe put through a rolling mill or something. So the links line up nice and flat right next to each other. This is a flat curb chain. This is really nice because it's pretty wide. Not super thick though, so it doesn't feel heavy, and it also doesn't get weighed down, and the price isn't affected too badly. This SF1272 available in 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths, from 24, 33 up at the retail level, and 15, 20 up at the wholesale price. So using that technique, right, of taking the links of a regular cable chain and twisting them, you can get some pretty cool effects. And here's one where it's that same kind of Jen's pinned link, right, where the you'll have 3 links in a row, and then the 4th link that you put on connects the 1st and the 3rd, and then the 5th link connects the 2nd and the 4th, and then the 6th one connects the 3rd and the 5th, and you keep going that way, and you get this kind of spiral effect where the links are not one after the other. They're very cool. So this is actually further enhanced by being twisted, right, in that kind of a curb chain effect. So when you take that Jen's pin and you twist it into a curb, you get that sort of very cool effect. SF1242, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths, from $968 retail, $648 wholesale, and then going up depending on the length of those things. I'm going to try to not be so slow in between. Here is another one, kind of very classic curb chain, although this is, really tiny. Right, so it's the same thing, same idea, curb chain, the oval links that are twisted, so they lay flat with each other. This hasn't been put through a draw plate like that other bigger one was, but every, I don't know, what is that, 7 or 8 links, one of the links is flattened to give you that sort of sectional look. That thing, very cool, very trendy. This SF 1262 is the code for that one, available in 16, 18, and 22, or 16, 18, and 20 inch lengths. Again, retail price from 1080 going on up. I've got one more curb chain to show you. I think there was one other on a board I also wanted to show you, but this is just a nice little classic tiny curb chain. Oh, the links are tangled up from being in the bag. Right? I don't know if you can see that, but nice tightly woven links. Very small, and this is that, but it's linked together the same way with that Gens pinned concept, where the first and third links are connected, and then the second and fourth links are connected, and et cetera, et cetera. So it looks more solid, almost like a rope chain, but not. Anyway, that one is SF1279, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch lengths. Which, if you ever at shows and you see these, right, we'll have those tags with all of the price tags on them. The last two numbers here, SF1279 is the code number, and the last two digits are the length. So this is available 16, 18, 20, 22 inch lengths, and the prices accordingly. Now, if you take one of those compound cable chain, like that, Gens pinned, or those things where you have the link, and then third link, and then the fourth link connects first, third, whatever that I was talking about before. If you take that kind of a chain, especially one where there's not a lot of room between the links. Obviously there's enough room that it's supple and everything, but not a whole lot of room between the length. And then you pull it through a draw plate, and a draw plate is just, you must have seen them. It's just a piece of steel with a bunch of different sized holes in them. And you can get them round ones or square ones, or whatever. And you can use the draw wire if you make your own wire, if you're one of those crazy people who still do that. There are people who do it, and I've done it just to say that I've done it, but it's always easier just to buy wire. But anyway, neither here nor there. If you take that kind of chain and you pull it through a draw plate to the point where those links compress into almost a solid piece, then you get what's called a rope chain, like this. This you probably can't see, but this is that same kind of chain that has been pulled through a draw plate so that the links are very tightly woven. It's still very supple, right? So it still lays nicely, but it's a little more solid, right? Nice, solid chain, and that S available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch lengths, and the retail price is $23.04. Wholesale price $16.14, and up from there. And I don't know if you've noticed, but kind of trying to extrapolate from one thing going on from one to the next, how one has a cable chain way more interesting, but they're all basically the same thing, links and links and links. Here's a little bit tinier version of that previous one. This SF 1275/16. It's only 0.8 millimeters wide, that link, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch lengths. And the prices, I think you can see those prices listed there. Here's another one. I'm not going to pull this out because it's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit thicker, 1.3 millimeters. SF 1266. This one is only available in 16, 18, and 20 inch lengths. Here's one which I think is probably the best realized version of that, kind of thing, right? It's almost, it's not quite a snake chain, right? Because, which I'll talk about later. but it almost feels like it. It's almost solid, you know. But you know, there's still, you know, space between the links, so the chain is very supple, very movable. But it's almost like a solid, you know, cable with a very cool texture in it. This, I don't, it's just a classic, perfect chain for God, anything, pendants, you name it. Because you know it's super solid, and it looks solid, so even a bigger pendant works, but it's thin enough and potentially dainty enough that even a smaller pendant will work. So I don't know, you can't go wrong with that. You should get one of these in every size. Which is available in SF 1282, 16 inch, 18 inch, 20 and 22 inch, um, uh, of that pulling that compound curb chain through a draw plate and getting that very cool effect um, of a. I don't know. Here's another one that's almost exactly the same as this, only these links were maybe a little bit longer links. And then when they pull through again, this is a, you know, a little less supple than the other ones, um, but I don't know if you could see from the thing, it's almost completely solid, right? Um, and this, I think, was just a straight up cable chain. It's not one of those compound cable chains, just a regular straight up cable chain, pulled through a draw plate to a diameter of 0.8 millimeters. That's how thick that is. And similar to the last one I just showed you, just perfect for pendants of any size, really. SF017, available in 16, 18, and 22 or 20 inch lengths. And I only have one more rope chain that I pulled out to show you, and I don't think. I feel like there's a big one that I'm missing. Oh no, I showed you that one. Okay, never mind. Right. And this is definitely one of those compound curb chains that's been pulled through a draw plate. These ropes, they're, you know, it just looks like a solid, although it's not a rope chain. Or no, it is a rope chain. It is a rope chain. That's why they call it a rope chain. But it's solid, and I don't want to use the word cable because cable is specifically, you know, reserved for, you know, individual links. But it's almost like a solid, you know, piece of metal, nice and supple. This is, you know, more supple than the last one I showed you. SF 1249, available in 16, 18, and 20 inch lengths. I see Nelson put those price tags in the wrong direction, probably trying to screw me up on purpose, which we like. I got your number. Now, another variation on that concept, right, of taking like a compound curb chain and pulling through a draw plate to the point where you know, the links compress into those ropes. Uh, ropes. I was going to say cable again, but it's not a cable chain. If you made your links, and it's not really the same idea as the compound cable chain, but you know, similar concept. But you made the links out of instead of round wire, if you made them out of flat wire, and then you pulled those through a draw plate to the point where they're very, very fine gaps between them, you get what's called a snake chain. Right? I don't know if you can see this, right? So it's these chains are not very supple, so you can't really bend them nice sharp angles because they'll kink. But they're very smooth. I don't know. They're kind of they feel great. They're awesome. We've got a couple different styles of these finished. This one is a kind of a flat one. SF1203, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch versions, 1.5 millimeters. I'm just looking at that's probably the width of that link, I think. 1.5 millimeters. I don't know. It looks like a little bit wider than that to me, but maybe that's the thickness. Here's like the classic snake chain, right? So this is a round chain. There's a texture there, but there's almost no gap between the links, right? It almost like a solid piece, and it you know, moves like a snake. Again, nice and smooth. Um, very cool, very gorgeous. Classic snake chain. This is available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. 1.2 millimeter is the thickness of that snake, of that chain. Classic. Snake chains are another ones that are really good for, you know, pendants, because they're just they don't take away from the pendant. You know, it's just like you know, here's a pendant that's on a chain. You know? It's not like, oh, hey, look at that cool chain you got there. Although there's something to be said for that. This is a similar thing. It's another, you know, kind of classic chain. Although every I don't know what that is, 6 or 8 millimeters or so. There's a section that's been sort of textured, flattened, so you can't really see it in the camera very well, but it's almost like it's a sectioned snake. Just to give it a little, you know, more interesting texture. It's only 0.8 millimeters thick. This one, SF1204, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. The snake chains are the only chains that we store flat or you know, completely extended. All of our other chains, they're in you know, they're in bags, and they could be smaller than the thing. These ones, you know, we have them in long bags, so they don't get kinked. This is a square. I don't know if you could see that through that camera. And kind of twisting it a bit. This is a square chain, square snake. SF1291, available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. And the retail price $22.10, going up from there, and the wholesale price $13.26 and up. And there's a couple others too. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. This is another, just a regular old round one. A little bit thinner than the bigger one I was showing you before. SF1281. 0.8 millimeters is the cable. I'm not sure what that 1 centimeter is. Maybe the loop for the clasp. SF1281, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. Is that one. And here's another square one, a little bit smaller, a little bit tinier version than that. Nice and delicate. You know, the edges are not sharp or anything, so you don't have to worry about them catching on stuff. SF1274-16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths available from $15.94 up is the retail price, and only $9.96 up is the wholesale price. It's killer. Great. Okay. That's all that I'm going to show. Oh, there's one more. I have to show this to you. I know that it's not, but I just love this. It's a big Rolo chain. Well, it's not actually that big of a Rolo chain. It's only a 4 millimeter Rolo chain link. But I like this for big, heavy, you know, they don't even have to be heavy, just big pendants. it looks very, I don't know, not medieval, but it's like perfect, the kind of a thing you'd see at a Renaissance fair or something. Anyway, this SF 1229 available in 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch lengths. I just love that. So anyway, neither here nor there. Nice big Rolo. Um, we've also got a couple of, not many, but a few ball chains. And ball chain is obviously what, it's like that. It's just a little ball with a link in between them or a piece of metal in between them. These balls are 1.2 millimeter, the little beads, and they're faceted. I don't know if you could see that from the camera, but they're not just plain round ball chain like you find at the hardware store for your bathroom. Very cute. People ask us all the time for ball chains. And here's another one. It's exactly the same chain, only a little bit thinner. This is a 1 millimeter version of that same beautiful sparkly little thing. Did I say the prices of the other one? That other one, that 1.2 millimeter, the bigger one is 1241. SF 1241 is the code, available in 16, 18, and 20 inch. And this smaller one, the 1 millimeter SF 1278, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch lengths. And we have one other ball chain that's cool. It's almost like it's kind of like a faux Figaro ball chain, right? Where there's just the round dots, round balls, and then the ovals, in between them. It's a super interesting chain. I don't know. It presents not really as a ball chain, but just as some really cool. I like that one. I think we've only got this one in 18-inch lengths. SF 1263. $28.90 is the retail price, and $21.85 is the wholesale price. And now we're going to get into some a little more complicated chains, and that's a smaller version. We have a big one, so I'm going to show you the big one first, so you can see better what it is. This one is called, I don't know, they call it a popcorn chain, where the individual links are intertwined with each other. They're almost like little beads with, it's hard to describe. It's one of those things that you kind of have to see up close to understand how it's made. But the links are individual kind of pleated beads with gaps in between the pleats, and then the gaps in between the pleats are woven together with the previous one and the previous one and the next one and the next one and the next one, over and over, to give you that sort of nice big wide chain. But it's very airy, very open. And this one that I just showed you, SF 1264, is, I guess, only available in 24-inch lengths. 2.75 millimeters is the width of that one. I've got another smaller version of that, right? Which I wish you could see this a little more close up. I'll have to figure out some way to do good close-ups on these things. SF 1271, and this one is only available in 18 inches. And here's one where it's the same concept. The link is a little different though. I don't know if you can see that, the difference. It's just a little airier, a little more open, but nice and wide. Also available only in 18 inches. SF 1252. $20.13 is the retail price, and $14.31. Well, that's a really, really good price for a popcorn chain. Just because the way those are made is a lot more technically challenging, let's say, than just a regular old cable chain or something. Which I don't know if you've ever done, but if you want to go down a very cool rabbit hole, get onto YouTube and just look for chain making machines, and you'll see the machines that they use to make chains. They're like amazing. They've been doing it for 100 years, making chains. And they haven't really changed that much. The basic concept is still, it's a piece of wire that comes in, and the machine slams that piece of wire together into a shape, into a link, oftentimes fusing the link closed, and then grabbing the link, turning it sideways, and the next one goes through, next piece of wire comes through, slams it together, closes it up, fuses it together, opens it up, and you could just watch chain being made, ka-chunk, 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 literally. It's very cool. I had the good fortune to be at a company in Rhode Island that still makes chain. Years ago, like 20 years ago, and I got to see all the machines working. Ka-chung, 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 with little. They just had little wicker baskets underneath, with all the chain spooling out into it. It was very cool. Loud though, but anyway, neither here nor there. This is, and I've just got a couple more chains to show you, and then we'll just call it a day. It's kind of a bar chain. The individual bar links are, it's a bar twisted so that the links opposite each other are perpendicular to each other, right? So it's just a flat bar with a texture in there, and then the bar is connected to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So that bar chain, SF 1245, available only in 18-inch lengths, and retail price is $24.25. You don't see a lot of that bar chain out there around, and I don't know why, because it's very cool, very interesting, very fashion forward. I hate using that word. I'm going to get in trouble for using that word. But it is. Here's another one, right, where the individual links are, it's just a bar with flattened on one side and flattened on the perpendicular edge. The holes are perpendicular to each other and just linked together. It's kind of a simple chain, but it's just so interesting. And not the kind of thing you see everywhere. So if you're looking for something that's kind of unique, these are them. SF 1246, available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. Prices from $9.69 and up, and the wholesale $6.06. $6! Man, that's a price. Heck of a price. Can't go wrong. And then the little... It's not the last chain. It's the last chain that I have prepared, but there are... No, this is the last chain I'm going to show you. There are one or two others from the boards that I wanted to show you, but we're already too long. We're going way too long. So this is another bar link, bar chain that I just love, right? So each individual link is, it almost looks, like ovals, but they're not oval. They're flat. It's just hammered on one direction and then hammered flat in the other direction. And just linked together, right? So the holes are perpendicular to each other on each individual link, strung together. And that's a particularly beautiful one. It's because it's a nice small link. The links are kind of tiny. SF 1260, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths, from $12.61 retail price, and going up from there, and $8.75 is the wholesale price, and up from there depending on the length of that thing. So yeah, those are all the chains that I had prepared. And golly, I know that I shouldn't be doing this because I'm just going to end up going long. But here's another bar chain that I didn't show you, right? The bars are, the links in between are twisted, right? That one, SF1244, I think is only available in 18. And there's only one other chain that wasn't in this thing that I also want to show you. This is it's a hollow rope chain, right? And this, it's woven almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, they call it Viking knit, you know, where you start out with like some wire and you pull it into the shape of like a daisy, right? With, you know, wide loops like 8 or 6 or 8 or 10, however many you want to go. And then you loop the wire back through, you know, the outside of the petals all the way around. And then you keep going all the way around, all the way around. And it's messy and it's gross and it's ugly and it's, you think you're doing it wrong. And you get to the end and then you pull it through a draw plate and that pulls all of those lengths of mesh. It's almost like mesh even. And you end up with a tube. This is kind of thing, but on steroids, right? It's almost like and it's got to be a compound version of that thing where it's not just one, you know, size linked to the other. It's got to be linked, you know, two sides back because it really overlaps a lot. But it's, you know, really supple. It's a nice big wide loop, but it's also like if you were to cut this open, it'd be hollow, right? So it's a kind of a hollow tube. This is available. SF1265 is the code. Available in 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch lengths. And, you know, if you need a great big statement chain, this is the one. And, okay, I'm not going to look at any more chains because if I'm going to see something and say, oh, I got to show you this, I'm going to show you that, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you go. I know that between this one and which is pretty good for me. I normally go over by a lot longer. But I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for coming or watching this Sylvia Findings Wednesday live stream. We're here every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and whatever your time is wherever you are. I know it's the middle of the day, but if you're doing this as a job, you need this information. And we're always here from you. You can always reach us either through Facebook or, you know, the website. We have a chat bot on the thing, which that's actually us. If you weren't aware, it's not. We don't have some messaging service manning the phones somewhere who's taking the thing. When you log on to the chat on the website, that's us. One of us, Marble or me or Nelson, hold of you, and you know, and we'll, you know, chat up. That's why we get a lot of those, which is great. I love being able to chat with people, which we don't get to do a lot anymore because there's no shows. So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be here again next week. Sylvia Findings live. You know what? I haven't decided what we're going to do next week. Say what?
Caps, because
Caps.
Big caps.
Bead caps.
Because yeah, we have customer asking for big caps.
So apparently we have a customer asking for bead caps. So next week, the whole thing will be bead caps, which we've got tons of. Great ones, awesome ones. So join us for that. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, breathe well. Hopefully, wear a mask. We'll catch you around here next week soon, I hope. Take care and bye. We're done.